What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama here, and today we're going to be talking about the Paladin, the most well-rounded and best all-around character in Diablo 2. Consistently one of the most played characters in the game, he has a large build variety that allows you to play DPS, melees, casters, tanks, party saviors, magic finding kings, or pretty much whatever role you wish to take on. We are going to take a look at these various roles and answer the question, is the Paladin the right character for you to play? The Paladin is one of the safer characters to play since he has 3 life per vitality point, putting him above average and increasing his survivability overall as he levels. Additionally, with the skill Holy Shield, he has extremely good blocking frames, and it is super easy to have a high block chance. Now, 75% chance max block is almost a necessity on every Paladin just because of how strong it is and how easy it is to get. So don't be afraid to place points in dexterity as you level, or later on, of course, once you have acquired Holy Shield. Speaking of leveling, in general, the fastest and easiest way to play is to start a Holy Fire Zealot until level 18, though you can easily take this build all the way through about Act 3 of Nightmare, and then respec into a Blessed Hammer Paladin, commonly referred to as the Hammerdin. Using magic damage that spirals out in a circular AoE, Hammerdins have been the bread and butter of Diablo 2 for over 20 years, beat almost all of the content in the game without much wear of immunities, and magic find for amazing items. They're powerful against individual targets, large packs, and even strong in PvP, making them a true all-around best character. That being said, there are plenty of enjoyable experiences to play through the entire game for this character, including Smiter, Holy Bolt and Fist of Heaven's Paladin, various kinds of Zealots, and even some slower builds such as Vengeance. Now, some ideal gear for him to use farming early in the game includes Malice, with a wonderful chance of open wounds. This is a great way to just start off for melee, get your hits off, and move on to the next mob, as open wounds will have them bleed out to death. Steel is fantastic with high IAS. That's a nice boost, and with Holy Fire, the main thing we want to focus on is attacking as fast as we possibly can. Spirit Sword is the best in slot caster weapon that you can get in the early game. For such a low level requirement, you get skills, you get hit recovery, you get mana, you get life, you get all of these amazing stats, all of the FCR on top of it. It is truly unmatched for starting. Lore is a fantastic runeward helm for simply an Ort and a soul. You can pick up one to all skills, you get some mana per kill, which can be very helpful in sustain, you get a little bit of light res, and just a couple other nice pieces to go along with it. Stealth has Tal Eth for the requirements, simple runes to grab from the normal Countess, and yet you are able to get FCR, FRW, and FHR, 3 very vital stats for this character, both in melee or in caster form. So this is kind of a perfect armor for the Paladin, regardless of what you're going. Stealth is just going to be superb. Spirit Shield, just like we talked about with Spirit Sword, Spirit Shield with a Paladin shield can actually be made early on, which is truly amazing. Normally you have to wait for at least a Monarch shield, which you're not going to be getting until Hell. It's a 156 strength requirement, and it can be a little bit more difficult to get a Spirit Shield rolling. However, the Paladin can pick up a Spirit Sword and Spirit Shield early in the game by Nightmare Countess. You can just farm both of them, and then you will have that huge stack of all of the skills and FCR, and now additionally resistance, plus the additional resistance that maybe were on your Paladin shield. This is going to be the best item that you can have on this character for a while. Ancient's Pledge can also simply be a nice pickup if you only have a 3-socket shield, or if you're still in normal, you haven't got to Nightmare Countess yet with Amrune and all of that, you can simply make Ralort Tal. In that shield, you get these runes, of course, in Act 5 for completing the Barb quest of saving them. And you can, of course, place this in a Paladin shield as well to get additional resistances on top of the 25. For unique items, I love an early suicide branch. Getting +1 to all skills with all of the FCR can be really nice. Wizard's Pike is kind of in the same boat. You get the resistances as well here, but again, this is really going to be a piece of gear that you're going to be snagging for hitting that next break point in your FCR that you wouldn't be able to reach with something like a Spirit. Herald of Zakarum is a classy shield. This shield can be found all the way up, honestly, I believe at Nightmare Mephisto, and then all the way through to the end of the game. It is superb. Tons of pally skills on it right here. You can get some nice defense, nice resistances. You can socket it, put another perfect diamond in it for even more resistances or something else if you would like. And of course, just nice block chance. So really a powerful shield that you can use early on, and then you can take all the way through to the end game. For helms, I really like Tarn Helm. You get the +1 skill and you get the magic find. Again, this is a great magic finding character. He's able to take on a lot of the bosses. He's able to take on large packs, and having that magic find will pay off. So this is a nice, easy, cheap way to grab that while still getting another +2 skill, which can help out for all of your casting skills. I mean, all of your skills in general, but really for the caster, it's a little better. And then Rockstopper is another fantastic helm. This is actually probably my favorite helm in the game, just because it's kind of a simple one that you happen to find along the way. It's beautiful with the resistances and the damage reduction. It really does a lot in helping your melee characters continue through. But any character is happy to wear this for a while until they eventually find another best in slot piece to top it. Great middle game item though. For armors, I love Viper Magi. Of course, for a caster, this is going to be essentially your best in slot armor that you can have in the mid game. It takes over the stealth, giving you even more of that FCR, giving the +2 skill, giving the resistances. Just really a nice combination piece and some nice damage reduction there too. Q-Hagen's is a little bit worse, but also has a similar idea to Viper Magi. So again, kind of something that can replace stealth if you're not losing a breakpoint, and then you get to also get this nice additional skill point. For gloves, I love Chance Guards. For Magic Find, pretty simple. I also love Mage Fist if I'm looking to get the FCR. Otherwise, just getting some nice rare gloves can always be helpful with some resistances. For boots, I love Water Walks, Inferno Strides, etc. There's really a lot of good boots here. You're looking for Run Walk, resistances, life, and whatever other combination pieces that can be useful. If you're going for melee, Gores can be really good, Goblin Toes can be really good, and more, right? There's really a large variety of boots. I would definitely recommend looking up all of the boots that you can find for the uniques and sets. And then maybe you come across a rare boot that just has high dual res and some faster run walk, and that ends up being the best in slot for you. String of Ears is a really nice mid-game belt, giving you solid damage reduction, also a little bit of lifesteal if you are playing a physical melee character and you would like some of that. The String of Ears a lot of times can also run you all the way through to the end game. So this is another one of those pieces that you might find earlier in the middle there, and then you can just take it all the way through. Gold Wrap additionally has some IAS on it, and of course has the Magic Find as well. So if you are looking for that additional Magic Find, this can be a nice piece. For jewelry, I really love a nice Nagel ring. It's simple, it's easy, it's Magic Find, and it also has some attack rating, so for a melee character that can be solid. Additionally, a Ravenfrost is going to be one of your best friends if you're one of those melee classes, because like we talked about before, Cannot Be Frozen is just extremely important. And then it also has dexterity, which helps your chance to hit, and also your blocking, which you really like. It has nice attack rating. Overall, it's just a very nice ring. So any melee character is going to want at least one Ravenfrost. For amulets, there's really a variety. Eye of Etlich is a nice early +1 to all skills, which can be great for a Paladin here if you're going for the caster. If you're not, then you could look for something maybe a little bit more like a Cat's Eye, giving you the faster run walk there, the High Lords, right? You get the IAS, something along those lines will be something that you'll be picking up along the way. For rare and magic items, any plus Paladin or tree-specific amulets can be solid. Faster cast rate rings can be really good. Magic Find and Resistance gloves can be great. And Magic Find Resistance and faster run walk boots. So really, again, for a caster, you just want to have as much plus to skills and get those FCR breakpoints down if you can. And then sprinkle in life, sprinkle in stats, sprinkle in resistances to kind of help build up your survivability along the way. The Paladin is often people's second character to play following the Sorceress due to her level 18 teleport skill. Once he gets even the slightest amount of decent gear though, he becomes a farming machine. And give him Enigma with teleport, it transforms him from a solid character to one of the best in the game. He should have very few problems in terror zones, but my favorite spot to play with him is actually in the Chaos Sanctuary, which also happens to have amazing drops and is one of the best leveling spots in the game. With Enigma, there should be a focus on teleporting on tops of bosses and large packs, and then immediately casting hammers to put them into hit recovery before they can hit you back. If you're having difficulty surviving with this telestomp method, consider teleporting or moving a little bit below the packs and starting your hammer casting there. Since hammers start above you, you can catch them quickly while being a little bit more out of harm's way. Another build that absolutely crushes the Chaos Sanctuary is the Fist of Heaven's Paladin. Since all of the monsters there are either demons or undead, you will be able to kill everything all the way to Diablo himself. Now, while you'll be unable to farm some of the terror zones in the game that are missing these types, places like the Chaos Sanctuary, the Arcane Sanctuary, a lot of Act 1, a lot of Act 4 and 5, and any Act boss, farming can be cleaned up pretty easily, allowing you to magic find or rune hunt pretty effectively. Some gear that you want to aim for in the later game includes Heart of the Oak, just a simple upgrade to your spirit. You're getting more skills, you're getting more FCR, and you're getting a nice big boost to resistances. Call to Arms is always used on every character. Getting battle orders is simply too powerful. It's going to just boost your life in such a nice way, and having all your plus skills will help this as well. Spirit Shield in a 45 all-res Paladin shield is going to probably be your best in slot for most of your casters. However, Hawes can still be good, but this is just, again, continuing the powerhouse that Spirit is and placing it in the best shield that you can possibly find. Enigma grants teleport like we talked about before. Additionally, it also has a bunch of other great stats, including skills, faster run walk, damage reduction, and more. So you're getting plenty of great stats, but getting the ability to teleport around, telestomp, teleport to bosses, everything that you can with teleport do is simply too powerful. For sets and uniques, I really love Shaco. Simply a nice, pretty green helm with skills, life, mana, damage reduction. What more could you want? Mage Fist and Traying Owls, again, going for that 20 FCR. These are going to simply be kind of your best in slot for your caster builds. Or you can, of course, go back to the Chance Guards for your magic find. For belts, Arachnid Mesh is pretty unmatched for casters as it has plus to skills, it has the FCR, and you're simply not getting that on any other belt here. Verdungos can be really nice for a melee character, so this can be really solid, big vitality, getting the damage reduction as well. However, you could use this as well on a caster style or some sort of hybrid character if you would like. For boots, I love War Travelers for the massive magic find, also a little bit of added damage, and Sandstorm Treks can also be nice, adding some strength and vitality, as well as getting some hit recovery to help you hit breakpoints there. Rings, Stone of Jordan, Bull Cathos, and Ravenfrost are the three preferred for your uniques. Of course, getting +1 to all skills is simply too powerful on the caster class pieces, so really getting either one of the Bull Cathos or the Stone of Jordan is important there. But Ravenfrost, like we said before, for melee is just going to be a best in slot, easy way to grab, cannot be frozen, on top of other affixes. Mara's is going to be a +2 to all skills and resistances, and that's simply too good to pass up. Very strong. If you can't quite get to Mara's, you can look at Seraph's Hymn. It's a little bit worse, but it's still going to be giving you 2 to all skills there, which is very important. And then later on, you can try and get the Mara's, or you can get your resistances somewhere else. High Lords, of course, is going to be really nice for your IAS-based characters, so any Paladin that's really looking to hit faster, this can be a nice amulet for that. Lastly, for charms, you'll want to pack in a Torch, a Nihilus, and as many Skillers as possible. Charms can also be used to hit faster hit recovery breakpoints, or gain life and resistances that are missing. If you can get Skillers with life on them, that is even better, but of course that can be a little bit difficult, so something that you might want to work up towards. Of course, there are plenty of other useful items for the Paladin, and it all depends on your build. Caster Paladins will have more of a focus on skills and faster cast rate, while melee Paladins will aim more for damage, attack rating, and survivability. For instance, a caster is not going to have any use for grief. However, a melee paladin may find grief to be extremely useful, as it's one of the best, if not the best, melee weapons in the game for this low cost of simply 1 low rune. Now, the Paladin is also one of the easiest classes to build up for taking on to the Ubers. With Smite hitting 100% of the time as the main skill being used, you don't have to worry about attack rating, which is really nice. The main things that you're simply going to focus on for Ubers are getting enough overcapped lightning resist to not get one-shot by Mephisto, since he has a conviction aura. The perfect amount to have is 300% lightning resist, since his aura drops you 125%, and the hell penalty is another 100%, leaving you at a maxed 75% lightning resist. Additionally, a source of life tap to heal up quickly is extremely important. This can sometimes come from an item like Dracula's Grasp or Exile's Shield, but it can also simply come from a wand you can shop with life tap charges. Beyond that, you'll want a source of open wounds to stop their high health regen, and lastly, a source of crushing blow to chunk their HP quickly. Some quick sources of these can be Malice, like we talked about before. 100% chance open wounds means you only have to apply it every few seconds, so you can kind of swap back and forth or just have it while you're getting crushing blow from some other source. Black is a fantastically cheap source of crushing blow. You can get this from the Nightmare Countess, all of these runes, and then you can have it and take it right to the Ubers and have 40% chance crushing blow, which is pretty often. Strength is a little bit cheaper version of that, costing only an Am and a Tear instead of needing the IO. Again, giving you crushing blow at 25%, but just a little bit less than Black. Duress can be a nice combination of both. It does require finding an rune. You can get this from Nightmare Forge or from your Hell Forge, but it's one of the best melee armors to carry around in that early or that mid to late game there, and into the early Ubers before you eventually shift into something like a Fortitude. Gore Riders can be another boot that can give you open wounds and crushing blow. However, it is going to be at smaller amounts, so you may want to pack in a couple other places to have some of that. Eventually, if you can get Grief as a weapon, it will add a ton of damage and speed up your kill speed. However, something like a Black or a Strength can still be good enough to just take down the Ubers. As for resistances, they can come from a lot of places like rings, ammies, belts, helms, charms, and more. Many times you can even just go shop these pieces to temporarily use while you fight Mephisto. For the actual fight, starting out, you'll want to pull them slowly, one by one, to fight so you don't get overwhelmed. Of course, as you get more powerful, you can eventually just rush in and kill them all quickly while life tap keeps you alive. Mephisto is a great first Uber to kill, as he does have that conviction aura, and taking that out will substantially help you in the rest of the fight. Now, torch farming early on the ladder can be extremely profitable, and it's a specialty of the Paladin, so use this to your advantage and get some keys from other people or go farm your own keys and run some of those torch runs. While the Paladin is amazing at clearing solo content in the game, he is even better as a party member. His offensive and defensive auras can provide significant boost in every situation. Vigor to help your party move faster, Salvation Aura for resistances in areas with lots of elemental damage, Fanaticism to increase attack speed and damage if you have lots of physical attackers, Conviction to lower enemy resistances if you're playing with lots of spellcasters, Meditation to restore mana during downtimes, Cleansing to clear poison and curses faster, and more. So why would you not play the Paladin? Honestly, most of the time it's because you've already played him a lot. With the Paladin being so strong, many times it's simply more fun to try a different character out rather than opt for the same Hammerden for the 10th time. Although I will admit my favorite Paladin build is the Dream Holy Shock Paladin, which is surprisingly strong and can clear Player's 8 content. In conclusion, the Paladin is extremely well-rounded, can take on any role, and is one of the most recommended characters to play in Diablo 2. He can take out the Ubers quickly, can easily avoid struggling with immunities, and I simply highly recommend him for any player that's looking to get into the game and has interest in a strong playthrough and is a character that's able to really clear all of the content, not run into too many difficulties along the way. With that being said, that's all I got. Don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.